It's the anointing that makes the difference. The Fresh Anointing Show with Jay Richardson. Top of the day to you and welcome to the Fresh Anointing Show. Thanks for joining us. It's another great day, and you know what I say? It is a day that the Lord has made, and we ought to do what? To rejoice and to be glad in it. I'm always thankful for seeing another day. Today, we have a special guest that's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about taking ownership of your career path. So I don't know if you ever thought about taking ownership of your career path and planning your long-term goals and positioning yourself for your next great career. If you have not, stay tuned and gain some insight about taking ownership of your career path. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
We make him famous, make him famous, make him famous. We make him famous, make him famous.
The Fresh Anointing Show. Educational, exciting, and educational. Top of the day once again. Thanks again for being here. I just want you to meet somebody special that's joining me today. She has so much going on, so much knowledge, and it's like we've been knowing each other for years. Her name is Dee Williams. She is a career development coach and runs her own company, or should I say companies. What's happening, Dee?
Hey, how are you today? Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you. So we're going to dive in to talk about taking ownership of your career path in just a minute. But before we do that, can you tell the listeners a little bit about you? What's going on with you?
Yeah. So I'm Dee Williams, and I am an entrepreneur, tech startup founder. I'm also a coach. I've been in the recruiting and staffing industry for over 20 years. So I help people transition in their careers, start their new careers, transition out of their career into entrepreneurship. So I get to walk with people from the start to the finish, or with a goal line, whatever that may be. And then I'm also responsible for bringing a lot of retirees back.
Wow. That's all right. Yeah. So as we look at this piece of taking ownership of your career path, it's amazing how many people that are out there that they're looking for a new career, they're looking for a job, but sometimes they don't really know how to get from point A to point B. So we just want to give sort of some nuggets today and talk about that career development, how to go about that. And not only that, but there may be people that maybe want to start up their own business, and like you help people with as entrepreneur coach. And so we want to talk about those things and help some of the people out there. You know, for me, when I think about it, is whether you're looking for to switch careers, switch jobs, and change fields, or transform your whole career outlook. You know, a great career starts with planning. Am I correct about that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, how a person may go about, you know, just from starting from point A.
Yeah. Starting from point A is a decision. I think that's the first thing we want to just make it clear, because some people say, I want this, I want that, but they're not willing to do the work that it takes to actually get there. And that comes from not having made a solid decision about, like, this is what I'm going to do and this is where I'm looking to go. So the decision is always first. Yes, I decide, I commit, no matter what, all hands on deck, no turning back. This is what I'm going to do. Once you decide what that is, then I really feel like the next piece is to go journey looking, right? To go out there and to start seeing what is exciting for you. So I'm going to tell you what I would tell my normal coaches or clients rather. But I also want to share a story with you, a real life one. So my son, my youngest son, he has always had this dream to travel the world. And when he left high school, like any other parent, I wanted him to go to college. And he looked at me and said, that's not my path. I want to figure out who I am and what I want to do. And I don't know that college is it. So this young man has spent, says he's 29 now, but and I know I look good, but I'm just saying, but he spent his like 18 to 29 like really testing out things. And when I say testing out things, he's been a chef, he's been a CDL driver, he has been a tour bus driver, he has been an au pair, he has been something where he's welding, he has been like, I can go down a list. He's done computer programming. He has done so many different things, and he's tried them. So I was like, what are you doing now? Oh, I got a job here. I'm like, how long are you gonna be here? He's like, I don't know. I want to try it out. I don't want to commit to something for the rest of my life. I want to test it and see. And I think it's important, one, for employers to know that that's how these later or newer generations are thinking. That's definitely not how we were beyond. But he wanted to test it out, and I actually became very inspired by that, because you're right. We are taught that, oh, you got to graduate from high school, go to college, pick a career, take that career for the rest of your life, and then that's it. And that's probably why we're having this conversation and people are listening right now, because that is what has probably happened to them. So now let's talk about what I said to him and what I would say to someone who is on this journey of discovery. Go out there and search YouTube. That's the first thing I would say. Search YouTube, search Google. Google, when you start typing in a sentence, the most popular searches come up, and you can kind of see like how to start a career in, and just type A, like the letter A, and then all of these A words are going to pop up, all these different A careers. And then just start looking through. Do a Google search, top 10 best paying, most paying, highest paying jobs in this career, best jobs in this particular city or location. I would say best jobs of the future. What jobs are coming down in the future, right? So like really just exploring a lot of different things. See where there are challenges. What industries are having challenges hiring people? You probably will have a better chance, getting hired in that space. And if you become an expert in that space, your value immediately increases exponentially. So like really taking the time to discover like what's out there and what resonates with you. And that's the other part that I was going to say. I could talk about money, I could talk about location, I could talk about a lot of things, but it also has to be something that you're super passionate about. I really wanted my son to be like a graphic designer because his pen game is crazy. I wanted my daughter to be a lyricist because her pen game in a different way is crazy, right? But they weren't passionate about those things. I even named my daughter Lyric. Like, she's like, that's not my thing. And she's amazing at it. And she just not passionate about it. So it has to be something that you're absolutely passionate about, like that when you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I can see myself doing this at least for 3 to 10 years. I would say you want to stick into something like to really 10 years to get the most out of it, to get the full, bang for your buck. And then the last thing I would say, or the next thing I would say is once you have an idea where you want to go, then yes, I would say, let's start creating a strategy. I'm not really big on planning per se. And I think there's a difference between planning and strategy. Planning is like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I want my expectation to be. Where strategy, you don't really know what the expectation is going to be, but you're going in the direction of faith in a way.
Okay.
And that's just a much easier way to ride. So you want to create strategies of how you want to get to your destination. What's my goal? I ultimately want to have a 6-figure job where I can work from home or travel where I want and talk to people, whatever it is. Write out your goal, and that's the end goal. So now we'll create strategies to get there based on that end goal. Oh, I can get really into this.
Yeah, so I want you to get into it, but I want to go back to something you said, because I think it's very true when you talk about planning and strategy. One of my favorite words is strategy. Putting together your strategy. So when you talk about putting together the strategy, is that like mapping out and defining the right career goals that will put yourself on the path of a successful career?
It's the strategies always start from the goal, right? So that's why I kind of mentioned the goal like that. Like you have to really create your vision of where you want to be, how much you want to make, and then you can go backwards, right? Then you can re-engineer. Okay, well, what jobs will allow me to do this and have this type of lifestyle, and do I resonate with it? And then once you get to narrow that down, you'll get to see, okay, these are the jobs that I want to go after. And then you can go backwards to figure out, how do I do that? How do I get there? So then your strategies come into place. Do I need schooling? Because a lot of jobs don't require schooling any longer, right? We're not even doing SATs anymore. So a lot of them don't, a lot of companies don't care if you have a degree. So depending on what you chose, what do I need? How do I get there? And then you can start creating strategies that way. It may be your strategy is around volunteering. Maybe your strategy is around attending networking events. Maybe your strategy is around taking over LinkedIn and building your personal brand. Maybe your strategy is around going crazy, going ham on YouTube videos until you feel like, I feel like I know this, and then testing it out. Like, I don't know what your strategies are, but whatever they are, they're all leading up to you getting to this goal. And trust, when you have a goal and you start laying those strategies out and you've got some good positive energy flowing around you, knowing that that goal is actually going to take place, every door will start opening up for you. It's like so crazy, like how it'll open right up for you.
So I want to stay right here with strategy just for a minute. But when you talk about strategy and putting that strategy in place, will that strategy assist you in organizing your career goals and identifying your individual purpose and pathway to success? One of my big pieces, and I teach this all the time, talk about this all the time, is purpose. Knowing what your purpose in life is. Because sometimes I feel like people don't really know what their purpose here on earth is. And another thing, the second part of that purpose is that the passion. You talked about this a little bit earlier. So now, if I have a passion for something, then I know that I'm going to love it. It doesn't matter what happens in life. I have a purpose. I have a passion. And I'm going to enjoy doing this, because a lot of times we take jobs, we get in careers, and you sort of alluded to this earlier, that we really don't have a passion for. Right. We do it because of the necessity. I need the money. I need to pay the bills. So I'm going to take this job. And we get into these jobs, and then we don't like these careers or these jobs, and we're miserable. We don't want to get up in the morning. We don't want to go to work. We'll be glad when the clock hits whatever time we get off and we're ready to go home. But for me, I think that passion, when I'm in something and doing something that I love, it doesn't matter. I tell people all the time, what I do, you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, say, hey, can you come? I'm getting up and I'm going, because I'm not going to say, oh man, because this is something I like. So two P's, purpose and passion. Talk to me.
So, a couple of things. So one, passion is definitely imperative, but I definitely don't mix passion up with my purpose, because I'm passionate about a lot of things.
Okay.
But it took me a long time to figure out what my purpose was. And so I come to find in my experience in working with people that you find your purpose later. You don't typically find it up front. Some people do, but most people find it later over time as they have experienced a number of things. And then they start to see what their gift is, their true gift. And then they start to realize they've always had the gift. And then they start to hone in on that gift. And then it becomes a purpose. But your passion is something you can come right out of school with, or, your passion are things that you love exponentially. And those things can be a part of the work that you do for your career every day, right? So like I'm passionate about music. I'm passionate about anime. I'm passionate about technology. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. All of those things I have incorporated into my daily job every day in some way. And now I have realized my purpose, which is to build tech to help hire, to build, I'm a recruiter, it's to put people into work, not just to put people into work, but to develop them. You start to see what your true purpose is over time. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it was something I knew I wanted to share, because some people think that they go to work, and if they're if that they feel that their job has to be their purpose, and it does not have to be
No,
their
no, no.
purpose.
That's not it. It's not the job being the purpose, and it's
Yeah.
not even the job being the passion. So,
Yeah.
all right. So first of all, let's go back. I like the way you're building this. You're like laying the blocks right now. You're laying it. So I like alliteration. So I look at purpose, I
Yeah.
look at passion, and I look at pathway.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
now I totally agree with what you said earlier, is that I didn't know my path, my purpose early on. I didn't have a clue really what do you mean purpose? I mean, I know me, I know what I love to do or what I like to do, but purpose, what is purpose? So for me, purpose answers the question why. Why do I do what I do? Or why should I do what you want me to do? So purpose answers the question why. Passion says that, boy, I love this. Now, you're right. We have passion about so many different things, right? Passion about this, passion about that. But let's narrow it down. Let's come back to career. Let's come back to job.
Mhm.
So if I'm looking for a job,
Mhm.
I remember for me growing up, I started working a job at 14.
Mhm.
I didn't have a passion for some of that stuff that I did because I needed a job. I wanted to make money.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is a lot of times we get the job because it pays well, or maybe
True.
sometimes it don't pay well, but it pays what I need to get to pay the rent,
Mhm.
to pay the bills, right? But that's
Mhm.
not my passion. It's not
Mhm.
something that I really like to do. I can do it. I have the skill sets for it, but it's not my passion. Pathway says that now I know my purpose. I have a passion for it, and I'm going down the right pathway now. I'm going down the right road. I know. Go ahead. I see you.
Love
Go,
that. I
go.
know, I love that. But we're human beings, and there's
Okay.
always a flip dynamic. We're
Okay.
in a
Okay.
time right now where most people don't know what their purpose is, and they're not going to figure that
Mhm.
out until later. So
Right.
we have to be able to have a model for those folks who are coming in from a passion side. And I'm going to tell you why that can sometimes, in some instances, come first, because we're in a different time. This is the
Okay.
time of the internet. You don't have to go and get a job that you don't want. You can do anything you want right now. You can go online and learn how to do an e-commerce store. For you got $100 to get tennis shoes, you can do an e-commerce store. You can go in and make money online. Like, it's so easy to make money today. It's so easy. It's so easy. So it's not like anybody who chooses not to do something that they absolutely want to or passionate about or whatever the case, that's by choice. But the option is there. And there are a lot of people who are coming in saying, you know what? I don't want to work this job no more. I want to do something I like, that I like. I want to do something that I love. I want to do something that I enjoy. I'm not really sure my purpose is just yet, but I just know I don't want to work this job right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go with that plan and stuff yet, but I know I want to get out of this job. I know not only do I want to get out of this job, or I want to have a job that I enjoy and hopefully something I'm passionate about. And then that's when they hook up with a coach like you and I, where we can sit down with them and strategize with them and see, like, what do you love? What do you enjoy? And then start to think about all the different things they can do. There's a story about the young lady who does the soap opera digest. I don't know if you know how she started that, but somebody basically called her a bum because all she wanted to do was go home and watch soap operas. This was back in the day when soap operas were the thing,
Oh, yeah.
And so she hooked up with, I think it was Jim Rohn, and he encouraged her to, like, oh, if you love looking at the soap operas all day, why don't you create a magazine? Those magazines are in stores right now. Right now. So there is a way to be able to do anything around any passion. It could be your most laziest, bummiest passion. Like, one of my children, their favorite thing to do is to sleep. I said, well, you need to go to college and become a sleep therapist, so you'll be able to figure out how to sleep properly then. And that is exactly, she was going to college to become a therapist. So it's like, you really, you can find your passion and work in your field of passion. And in my opinion, sometimes take your time and allow for the universe to show you what your purpose is, so that when you walk into it, you're not walking into it with boxing gloves on. You're walking into it like fully present. I'm fully aware of my purpose, where I'm going. Then yes, everything else you said, I'm all in. Don't be mad at me. I have a different perspective.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with having a different perspective, because that's how we are created. If we all thought the same way, we would never get anything done in this world we live in. So it's always good to have a different perspective. So I'm not going to get mad at you.
I know I'm pushing it.
Yeah, you're pushing it now. You're pushing it because, you know, I thought, I said, maybe I get her back on the show, but I may be changing my mind right about now. No, I'm just teasing. No, this is good. I like it because.
Be nice to me.
No, we're just having a little fun here on the Fresh Anointing Show, talking with Dee Williams. She is a coach. She is a motivator. She is a career developer. She's all of those things, and she can help you. Dee, tell the people how they can get in contact with you if they needed to be coached along the way.
Yeah, so I don't do as much career coaching as I used to do, but connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm DEE Williams GA, and DM me, inbox me, or whatever, and we'll connect that way. But if you want to connect with me in other ways, I hope you don't mind. If you're interested in finding a job or bringing your talent into the legal cannabis industry, I would encourage you to go and visit thecannabisjobboard.com. We would love to have your talents. If you are looking to become a coach or an influencer, an advisor, someone who does career development, you just want to share your skills, I encourage you to visit reskillify.com. So reskill, I-F-Y, reskillify.com. And then if you've ever thought about starting your very own niche recruitment and staffing business, like nurses, putting nurses to work, lawyers putting lawyers to work, software developers putting software developers to work, hospitals, churches. I keep trying to get churches to come. I don't know why. There's like the easiest market, I think, to start a very successful staffing business, because they have all the pieces right there. They have the employer and the candidates right in their church organization. Like, reach out to me. You can visit staffingpreneursacademy.com. We help hospitals, home health care facilities, churches, nurses, software developers, attorneys, professionals, entrepreneurs, recruiters, people who are passionate about a specific niche market, who has access to a specific niche market. We show them how to get to 7-8 figures starting their very own niche recruitment and staffing business. We've changed lots and lots of lives, especially like people who are like, you would never think that they would be millionaires. They would never think they would be millionaires right now and impacting their community. So I'm in my space, like I'm in my community like that. That's how I give back, and that's how you can get in contact with me. All right.
Very good. You said you had written a book. What
it's
book?
On staffing. It's a staffing book. So I've had, like I said, over 20 years in the staffing industry. So that's really where my foundation has been. But I would love for people to connect with me, because one of the things that I do is show people how to take their career, because that's what happened with my career, and turn it into a full-blown 8-figure empire. And like, the guy I went to lunch the other day, he thought I was a babysitter. And then he asked me what I actually did. I gave him my business card, and he just like apologized profusely. So, people, it's all about, what your vision is. I knew a long time ago what my vision was. I just knew that I needed time and experience and opportunities to be able to make that happen, and passion. And people feel my passion and they connect with me. And I encourage you and everybody else that is watching or listening to connect with my passion and my energy, and let's see what we can make happen, because I'm down.
Amen. All right. Dee, I thank you for being a part of the Fresh Anointing Show as we get ready to wrap this up here. What would be some closing thoughts you would want to share with the listeners today?
Find a dream and go after it by any means necessary. And do not be afraid to do things that maybe the person around you, wouldn't do, as long as it's ethical, like step out your comfort zone and have very strong energy around whatever your goal is and go after it because it's yours. If it's in your mind, it's yours and you can get it, you can have it.
All right. All right. Well, Dee, I am so excited that you have, shared some of these insights with career development, taking ownership of your career path. Want to get you back on the show to share some more. I think this is just, it's good stuff that we never think about. So for me, I believe that we have to reach the whole person, and that includes more than just doing one side. Let me put it like this. We want to make sure that people understand the spiritual side, but we have to make sure that people understand the other side that God has created us as well. And that is doing so many different things, as you have already alluded to, in our lives, because God created us in such a way that he gives us this way of being multitask. We can be multitaskers. You are a multitasker. You do so many different things, and you help people. You're reaching people, you're teaching people, you're coaching people along the way. So I want to be able to help our listeners to understand how they can move forward in doing things that they haven't even thought about. And you brought up some of those things today. So thank you so much for doing that.
Opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, family, thanks for joining us. And we want you to come back, and I'm going to get Dee back, and she's going to share. We're going to have some more fun. But until next time, may the Lord bless you real good.
The views and opinions expressed by the program participants are not necessarily the views of the Fresh Anointing Show. Thanks for joining us. Keep your head up. And until next time, remember to forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past, because God is doing a new thing, a fresh thing. Can you see it? The Fresh Anointing Show.
To be bold and put Christ on display and let this gospel be shown so God can have his way.